Hi, I'm Amy and welcome to my channel. I'm a relationship mentor and I specialise in healing attachment styles so that you can feel secure and fulfilled in your relationships. And in today's video, I'm going to discuss how two opposing attachment styles are attracted to each other and why they stay together. So stick around to the end of the video because if this is you, I'm going to show you how to solve it. But if you like this content, please consider subscribing to this channel and leaving this video a like so that other people have access to it so that they can heal their relationships as well. So the purpose of this video is to explain why two opposing attachment styles are attracted to each other in the first place. And I was having a conversation with a friend about this actually, because I know my patterns in relationships have been this. I have always been attracted to dismissive partners because I'm anxiously attached. But how can this be? So a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on what the subconscious shadow is. So the subconscious shadow contains all the parts of yourself that you suppress, deny and disown. And there is a term that's called the golden shadow. And the golden shadow is all the traits that you wish that you embodied. And also, a point to remember is that this stuff is primal. We are wired to be attracted to people that have characteristics and traits that we don't have. So trait variety in our survival is so important. So let's dive into how this relates to attachment styles. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use an example of an anxious preoccupied and a dismissive avoidant, purely because this is what I see most and this is what my experience in my relationships have been. So the anxious preoccupied has some really nice character traits. And I know on this channel, I tend to focus on what traits they don't want, but there are traits in each attachment style that are really great. So the anxious preoccupied will wear their heart on their sleeve. They don't have any issue communicating their feelings. They're very loving. They communicate quite well and they are not afraid of being vulnerable and going headfirst into a relationship. And the dismissive avoidant, on the other hand, has none of these traits. They don't like to discuss their feelings. They don't even like to feel their feelings. They are frightened of vulnerability and they are afraid of getting into a relationship. So when we get these two attachment styles together, you can see how the anxious preoccupied person would be very attractive to the dismissive avoidant. And this works vice versa as well, because the anxious preoccupied individual will love that their DA has autonomy, that they're okay being in their own company and that they can set boundaries. And it has the potential to be a very, very strong attachment and a very strong attraction between the two. Now, the downside to anxious preoccupieds and dismissive avoidance is that both parties trigger each other's attachment wounds and fears. So just to use an example for you so that this is relatable. So if we say, for example, the AP hasn't heard from the DA all day, and this has really triggered their attachment wounds. So they may well be telling themselves stories that they've been left, that they're not important, that they're not good enough, and that this person's distancing themselves, that, you know, I'm going to lose them, or, you know, worse, are they with somebody else? And they can have the potential to act from these fearful thoughts that are happening. Their fear of abandonment is really triggered in this moment. And if they're acting from it and they project this onto their DA, the DA's response to this is that they're going to lose their freedom, that they're going to get swallowed up in the relationship, that they're not going to have their autonomy and that they're going to be smothered. So their attachment style has also been activated. And what you will see is that this push-pull happens quite a lot within these two attachment styles if they're in a relationship with one another. So the anxious preoccupied is triggered. The DA is also triggered. The anxious preoccupied is likely to chase while the DA pulls away. And I had this within my relationship and to a certain degree within my marriage as well. And within my marriage, we were stuck in this power struggle stage and we never actually got out of it. in the end, sadly, the relationship ended and we divorced. And with my current partner now, we also had this dynamic, this roller coaster going on, and the on and off all the time, a lot of high conflict. And all it was to do was with our fears and our attachment styles. So if this is you, what do you do about it? So the first thing I want you to do is focus solely on yourself. And if you are anxious, preoccupied as I was, I get how difficult this is, because you want to focus on your partner. You want to try and fix things with them. But I want you to sort of bear in mind that you can't control your partner. You can't control them. The only thing that you can control is yourself and your own healing. So that was my first tip, to really focus on you. Focus on being the best version of yourself that you can be. And focus on nurturing yourself. Focus on loving yourself. And the reason why this is really important is because when you are in a relationship with somebody, it's so important to have your own autonomy. It's so important to have your own stuff going on, so that you're not solely reliant on the relationship, so that you're not solely reliant on your partner giving you the feelings of love and affection and happiness and fulfillment. You know, you are so capable of doing these things yourself and not outsourcing it onto other people, and really concentrate on filling your cup till it's overflowing. Okay, so that was my first tip. The second tip is to start moving the needle towards secure. And when you do this, you will automatically notice that your partner will change as well, because A, you're leading by example, and B, you are not perpetuating those patterns anymore. So if they haven't texted you all day, you are unlikely to be thinking that I'm being left, the relationship's over, that they're abandoning me and that they're distancing me. You won't. You will not think that. You will start to see the situation as it is, as, okay, they must just be busy. And this will really settle the DA, because what you are doing is you are creating safety within the relationship. You are creating an environment where the DA can start to trust you, start to trust that the relationship is safe, and start to see the relationship in a more positive light. Because when they do this, they will start to be more receptive to you. And so to end this video, I just wanted to give you some reassurance that just because your attachment styles differ, it does not mean that the relationship will not work. That is not the case at all. I mean, I'm living proof of this. And I really hope that you found this video helpful. But as always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video.